Okay, I think we are live. What's going on, everybody? Let me do a real quick mic check, make sure that we got some good sound going on here. It's good to see everybody. It's my favorite time of the week. Get to do some jack stand church with some of my car buddies, talk a little car shit, have a little bit of fun. 1 second, trying to skip over. All right. What's everybody up to tonight? Sorry, I'm a little bit behind. We had to dig through the trailer for one of the items that I was going to show you tonight here on the channel. So, it's about the taming part. So, Ghost Trucker, good to see you guys. Jonathan, Jim or Willie, good to see you guys. Good to see my members in green. If you guys want to check that membership out, those guys are, always helping us do stuff here on the channel as far as content and get a chance to talk to them in their own little chat. Thank you guys for what you guys do for us. What's up, Matt Wright, Shelby County in the house? What about the timing? What about the timing on the 351 Windsor? I don't know what you're asking. So, Pastor Neo. Yeah, Pastor Neo tired, man. We did a stick shift race. So, real quick, let me check my audio. Skip this ad. Seems to be pretty good. Last week we couldn't we didn't hear it very well. But here we go. We're good. Last week's audio sucked. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. But what's up, Pimp in the house? Good to see you, brother. So, anyways, we got a couple things to talk about tonight. You see it. It's getting towards the end of the the year. It's we're racing so much that I don't even have time between work and I'm not even gonna make any excuses. Like we're just racing a lot and we're testing a lot. We got several videos that we haven't finished, and I think I'm just gonna kind of catch you guys all up this week on one or two of those or whatever, because I'll actually have time this week. Last week it was a short week of we had the holiday, and then I had to be ready to race on Saturday, which we went to. We had a good time. It was fun. Stick shift struggle continues with us, but we're gonna figure it out, man. It's just like everything else in life. You get into those slumps, you just got to find momentum. We've been working on a couple things to, we'll talk about that here a little bit on the channel. It's the struggle. And what we have going on right now with our program with stick shift. It's doing really well. It's just it's not optimizing. It's not we're not pulling through when it's when we need to. We got to be on point when we need to be. You know what I mean? So, we're working on that. And just like you do with your car, you get into these slumps in life, where you just seem to lose momentum, and you just gotta turn your hat backwards and shit, and you just gotta put your head down. And you just got to go forward. And it could be in your personal life. It could be in your business life. It could be in your hobby life. It doesn't matter. It could be simple shit like, trying just anything. There's so many things in life you just lose momentum on, and you just got to find your way. And I'm just here to tell you that you're 100% forecasted to find your way. You just got to put, like I said, you got to put your hat backwards. You got to make a plan, and you just got to budget the time, money, family, car, whatever, therapy, whatever you want to call it. And you just got to move forward and figure this shit out. That's all. You got to figure it out. No one's going to do it. You know what I mean? So I guess I didn't want to help me to explain it, I guess. I don't know what you're talking about, Jim. So I'm sorry. What was the question? So, Vance Cooper, what's going on, man? We missed you this past weekend in the stick shift. It was a good race. It was a really good weekend. Really good. Anyways, on top of that, we're going to be talking about Ford Takeover tonight. The 393 needs some help, and we're going to talk about the things that we're going to be changing on it very soon. And we would actually have that stuff on order, but stick shift taming. So that's what I had to go dig in the trailer for. We're gonna be talking about that. The SSPs, we're getting ready to bring that back into the shop. and start doing a little bit of content on it. We got a lot to do with it in 2026 because we will not be racing the white car. We're going to be taking it apart. And what I'm going to start adding on top of like doing like the banners and stuff, I'd like to start adding like tech shit to like our live stream. I love the bullshit with you guys, but you know, there's always something to learn in the live stream than when we try to do them. And today I did like a little video. I think it was at Magnolia's race a couple weeks ago. Like I didn't have any headlights in my car, and I'm going to show you how I fixed it and how I found the problem per se. And I can just show you some of the issues that can turn into like, you know, your car catching on fire. Like these cars are really old now and the harnesses are even older. And it's just, you know, they're getting to the point that we got to be very careful with them and we got to pay attention to what's failing. And I try to bring as much of that information to not only my channel, but to, you know, to you here on the channel. So I pulled the number one cylinder up got it up, put the helmet bouncer on the 0 and it wouldn't do nothing. You just got to, there's plenty of different ways to try to time. You're heading in the right direction. One of the best ways I can tell you to learn how to time your motor. There's a lot of like good literature out there that you can get at like the parts store. Like there's like a Haynes book that you can get at AutoZone. There's how to build a 302 and how to time it. There's all kind of things like literature out there that you can read. And some of that's like literally on the internet now. I mean, usually when you're setting timing, you're bringing top dead center up. Make sure you're on the proper top dead center because it does, you know, you could be on the wrong, you know, the wrong stroke or whatever. So you need to make sure that's right. One of the little ways you kind of can feel that out is I would take like the blue rag shit, the little blue rags. I would ball them up and I would make like this little spitball and I would stuff it in like number one cylinder and I would like kind of hold it there and then have somebody crank, you know, use the button or have somebody crank the car over until you hear it go pop till it pops out of the cylinder. So that's kind of like one of those little, you know, those little black, you know, shade tree mechanic shit that you can kind of get an idea that you're on the right, you're in the right area. So you move your balancer to 0 with the timer or the timing and you point your, you know, there's like 3 different ways on a distributor. You got like the far left, the far right, and like the middle. You always kind of, you can set your distributor in like different teeth on the cam, but you can still time it. You see what I mean? And that was one of the issues we were having with the white car is the distributor was too far left, but we actually ended up moving a whole tooth over and retiming the car and setting it up with holley, and it's worked ever since. It's been wonderful. So that's about it. I mean, there's you know, without the best way to learn is to do it and fail and try to figure it out. It's the best way I can say. Hey, what's up, Neo? Just got back from Lake George, New York. Took my 87 408 notch up there to nice, man. Car show. Love it, bro. Love it. Anyways, moving on. We do have a goal going on too. If you want to do the hat t-shirt goal this week, I think we're doing 5 super chat, super stickers for $10 each. And that way somebody gets a hat, gets a t-shirt, whatever, randomly that we do here. So we're going to start doing that every week. Plus we're going to be doing the tech stuff. So anyways, going back to last weekend, we raced the stick shift stoplight, which was really, really cool. I had a really good time. We ended up getting taken out by the guy who ended up winning. What was really cool about the event was there was 1,000 on top. So big shout to Brandon Cirillo and Virus Racing. We had a great venue, a great track. I mean, literally it was like a radial prep. There was just so much at this time of the year with tracks, they get real sticky and, you know, they've been, you know, they've had a lot of rubber went down them all year. So, you know, we knew it was going to be fast and it was so fast that we ended up bogging our 2-step again. We still ran fast, but we didn't have enough for Chris Markham. So congratulations to, you know, Chris Markham. He ended up winning the bounty too. So I'll explain that. What we did was we threw $20 into a pot and all the racers, we all just kind of put like $20 into like a pot and we randomly drew one person out of the class and that person had the bounty. And it ended up being Cody, our good friend Cody Hartman. He was the bounty. So basically how it works is there was like $140 or whatever, because there was only 7 stick shift cars. We had to go on like a 30-mile trip. So that maybe that kind of steered some of the people away, but I don't know why it would, but some people can't go the 30-mile trip. Anyway, he threw $20 into the pot, bounty pot, and basically, you know, if somebody beat Cody, they claimed the $140. If Cody wins the race, he claims his own bounty. Now that doesn't compound where whoever beat Cody, if that guy gets beat, it's it. You know what I mean? It's just one shot. So basically, Cody gets $140 if he wins the race, or if he gets beat, and then that's it. So it's kind of like a little side bet for people, and I thought it was pretty fun. And Cody ended up going to the finals against Chris, and there was a trophy on top of that bounty as well. And they ended up, and Chris ended up winning the 1800 and the bounty or whatever. So we had a really good time. What's up, Nathan Tuck? Good to see you, brother. Trying to get my front end back together. Been fighting getting springs in by myself. Let me tell you what, there is a tool that you can buy, and let me see if I can, for you guys that are still rolling around on coil springs, let me show you this. There's a tool you can buy. I forget who makes it. Let me see if I can find it really quick. But it helps with installing coil springs. Anyway. It's in one of my drawers. I don't know where it's at. But basically it bolts, it actually bolts to the frame, and it allows the spring to kind of hold in place while you try to install the control arm. I think it's made by Maximum Motorsports. Somebody help me out here. Yeah, Vance, it would have been a really good race for you to be at. Any advantage or disadvantage to Cleveland mains on a 408? Okay, so the way it was explained to me is, obviously the bigger the main, the less the RPM. So 275 mains, like Cleveland mains, supposedly handle RPM a little bit better. That was kind of one of the handful of things that have the advantage to 2 3/4 mains. So I'll just go with that. Can definitely get the tool from LL. Yes. So like I said, there's a tool. Do yourself a favor. If you're going to be installing springs, it's not expensive. It's pretty cheap, and it helps you. It's helped you a lot. It helped me a lot over the years, installing coil springs when I had to deal with that stuff. So anyway, what do you think the car should run in the car? I have no idea, bro. I put AFR Voodoo can. I don't know what you got to tell me your whole setup. I mean, there's a lot of it when it comes to that question is so loaded and vague because I don't know. And even when I know people's cars, like I could be completely wrong. A lot of things go into running a 1/4 mile in the 1/8 mile. Springs, suspension, like just suspension in general, struts, shocks, springs, the way the car's set up, the way the weight's set up, if it's a full weight car, if it's not a full weight car, there's a lot of things that go involved in that. So what's up, MF Customs in the house? Good to see you. And it's funny because I was just talking to Donnie B, and one of the things that on the 393 list that we have to change is that. So if you guys are working in the shop tonight, I want to know what you guys are working on. If you guys are sitting here listening to me talking shit, on a Sunday, I always appreciate listening to hear what you guys are doing. And this is Jack Stan Church. I don't like missing it on Sunday. I might not do a whole lot of videos right now, but that's okay. We ain't quitting. We ain't going nowhere. Just whatever. It's whatever. We ain't gonna miss the live, and we're gonna get at least 1 or 2 videos in the week. And that may change into something else. So into like more videos or whatever. So going to edit the video tonight for the wife's car video. Nice, man. Man, I still haven't made a 1/4 mile pass yet this year. With my 1/8 mile times this year so far, should have been good deep into the 8s for sure. Have you what was your times in the 8th, Vance? We went pretty fast the other day. I've got a big race on the first weekend in October in Dragway 42. Yeah, Digapalooza. You going to Digapalooza? Still working on what headers? Trying to get your headers in your 408? Ever considered importing a Barra? No. Between Coyote and Pushrod 351, I'm good. I don't need any exotic motors. And there's nothing wrong with a Barra, man. But I want to work on stuff that I know, I can fix if something breaks. You make 1,000 in these Fox bodies, 800 to 1,000. I mean, the car's fast. At that point, you got to start thinking about suspension and safety and chassis, and it never ends. It really doesn't. You start outrunning your car, and then you have to work on the car to get it back into the same range that it should be for the horsepower that it makes. I mean, it's a common facade. Like, we build these cars, and it's like, you get too wound up on horsepower, and it's a good one. Like, I mean, I'm not being, triggered by the question, but it is kind of nice. I really do like the audience that we have, because it allows us to talk about some really important shit in the car genre, specifically with, building your car. It's a facade, man. We get wrapped up in 2025. There is plenty of time, or there's plenty of ways to make horsepower. Like, Coyote's a badass motor. The Terminator motor's a badass motor. 351 Windsors are starting to, at least I don't think they ever went anywhere, but like, we're shining lights on ways of making horsepower, and with technology, and I'm going to go off into a little tangent over here for a second. With technology, it's a lot easier to make horsepower, but one of the problems that we're having, one of the issues that we're having in the car genre, is we're losing machine shops. Like, I can't tell you how many times I get an email or I get a message asking Dave. I'm like his freaking liaison. It's like, hey, do you think he can build this? Do you think he can build this? Hell yeah. I mean, he can build whatever motor you want, but the problem is he's not available, and like, what's going to be a hack in 5 years. And I've talked about this before, in, they talk about it on TikTok or whatever. Go be a plumber, go be a machinist. You know what I mean? A machinist. I mean, how many machine shops out there are, they're just not doing work. Some of the guys that used to do old Ford motors, and they don't want to do it anymore. And nobody's taking their place at the shop. You know what I mean? Because they didn't go to school for it, or there wasn't any interest in that field, or whatever. I mean, there's a problem there. And we're starting to see the effects of technology, on top of the fact that, the people that were supposed to learn about machining and machinists and engine building and such, they're not there. So we're getting into our 50s and 60s, where we're retiring all these, decades of machine work and fabrication, and you're not getting the revolt, the reset. You're not getting the young guns in, that you can teach all the old shit, and then they can take it to the next level. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know. At least that's it's kind of it's kind of the explanation that I get from some of these old machinists. He's just like, there's nobody just out there. Nobody's interested in doing a lot of work, and it sucks, man. It's just the way it is. Foxbody Parts, appreciate the hats and t-shirts, man. Thank you so much. Also, once again, Jesse, for the super chat. Working on wife's golf cart. I love it. I agree with that. I mean, and it's like, you don't see a lot of the A-Tech. I mean, I keep telling these young guns, and I'm like, look, bro, go be a plumber, man. Go. I could tell you, I drank out of an 80-degree hose. I jumped off freaking merry-go-rounds for fun. We jumped off whatever, those monkey bars for fun. We did dumb shit, but we FAFO'd. We effed around and found out, didn't we? As a Gen X, I can say I'm proud to be a Gen X, because we were young enough to do dumb shit just like that, and learn how to, make friends and watch, watch these cars, get faster and more horsepower, whatever. And then we're old enough for the technology that we're doing right now. Dangerous AF. Tell me I'm wrong. But the point is, I went on a little tangent there on purpose because it's just, I wish, if there's something, if you're out there and not really sure what you want to do in life, and we need machinists, we need plumbers, man. The world was built on the back of roofers and people framing and construction and all of it, pipe fitting, welding, machining, fabrication, all of it, man. The whole world was built on that shit, man. Not watching it on TikTok, doing it yourself. So, anyways, going back to the motors part, it's not hard to make horsepower in 2025. It hasn't been for a while. I mean, it's been a lot easier. When you're building your car, you want to build the car to make it, be able to handle the horsepower. So somebody had asked earlier, what would I run in a quarter mile? Well, that's a very, vague question because you have to set the car up for it. I have seen so many cars make 600, 700, 800 horsepower on some $20,000 427 build, and the car shit a brick when it goes out to the track because he doesn't have the right tires. They don't have the right gear ratio. The car twists and rolls and bends all over the place because it doesn't have an anti-roll bar or subframes or a cage. So we build these cars. We put all this time and money and interest in just making horsepower, but that's not where you want to be. You want to put the whole thing in mind. And I'm not talking about leaving the car on jack stands. I'm talking about, what we do here in the channel, getting your shit off the jack stands. That's the whole point. Build it, have fun with it. Build it a little bit more, have fun with it. Have a game plan. Like, Jesse Workman and even Adventure to Super Dave, he, they keep me informed on what they're doing. Hey, this is what I'm doing next. Hey, this is what I'm doing next. That's really cool, man. I like to see that shit. I'm not coaching them. We're just, we're car buddies. It is. Mark Savoya today, he broke a TKO. He's not sure what he's going to do. He's got a car that has outgrown that transmission. So it's on to the next, does it ever end? No, but you can build a car to make it somewhat level across the playing field. You know what I mean? So, facts, Mustang, Chris. What did Chris say? Too many kids growing up playing Angry Birds instead of Hot Wheels. That's correct. That is 100% correct. I would love to learn machining. Listen, there is so much out there for the young guns to go get. If they're even remotely savage, they're just going to run over people. You know what I mean? And Gen X shit, you guys all know, most of my audience is Gen X. I don't really care what generation you are, really, to be honest. It's car guys shit is car guys shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have an age. It has a passion, right? And doing work on your car, that's not age restricted either. But we do have a hole in the car genre to where it's kind of getting to the point to where, we're not building anymore. We're just buying shit. And it's just like, I'll never just it's not the fact that I don't want people to build my shit, because if I want 1,000, 2,000 horsepower motor, probably need to let the machine shop do most of it together. But I'll know what's going on. And I love my budget stuff. You guys seen me do that shit here on the channel. Hell, we made the 387 that nobody even knew about. Well, let me rephrase that. The 387 was well known, and it was actually created from like a 400 modified crank and stuff like that. But we did it a little bit different, and it was cool. It was cheap, and it worked. Unfortunately, it met its demise because of my dumbass oil pan thing that I did. It is what it is. We rebuilt the 393, and we moved on. So, do you have a part number for the valves I would need to rebuild GT? Yeah, I do. You're going to have to send me a message. I think the Felpro number is discontinued, but the GT40P has a different valve. It has like a 148 valve or something like that. So I got them in my phone somewhere. So I'm 61. I'm Gen A. Hey, the boomers, we're good. I'm an automotive tool and die maker, everything from CNC. Nice. That's a good one to be in. I got a T-Bird coupe. I bought a motor out of a junkyard. It was a 351 Windsor. I put King's racing rods, mains, AFR enforcers. Looks like a comp cam. Do that or trick flow. Congrats, bro. Tool keep on going. My shit is off the jack stands. Congratulations, bro. That's what we do here. That is exactly what we do here, bro. That's right, bro. More guys need to pay attention to other stuff like suspension, roll cage, brake. Let me tell you, you could add, when I tell you that you could add weight to your car and go faster. These fox bodies are literally, and I'm just going to talk about fox bodies because, you know, G bodies and the unibody from the F, what was the 80s and 90s? Was it Gen 3 Camaro stuff? I don't remember. Was that F body still too? Anyway, shit's tin can. Like, you would be thoroughly surprised on how many Mustangs are running around out there on the street, fox bodies, that are bent to shit if you put them on a frame rack. My SSP, perfect case in point. My SSP, when we took all the torque boxes out of it and replaced them with the adjustable ones from Team Z, put the anti-roll bar in, we did the cage, and we did the big subframes, through the floor shit, did the tubular front. You would have been surprised on how far off that car was. The axle that came out of it, I actually was in one of my videos, if you guys remember. It was the stock axle that came out of it. It was so bent that they had to literally twist and move the tube because both of them were just, and we're talking about stock, stock motor shit. I mean, you're talking about an SSP. Yeah. So when I tell you that, going back to the horsepower thing when building your car, like we did with the coupe, we knew we were going to make 1,000. We'll probably make a lot more than that. Probably make 1,250 or 1,500, depending on which motor I put in there. It'll be able to do it. Do we need that much horsepower? Hell no. Start with 750, 800, work our way to 1,000. Car's going to be mid-low 5-second car. That's where we want to be at anyway. In the eighth, you could go 175 or so out the back door. I'm not really sure I even want to go that fast anymore. Eighth mile is cool. A lot of people don't like it. I love that shit. It's fast enough to have fun, and it's not as dangerous as people think it is. So, and when you street race, it's eighth mile. It's not quarter mile. So it is what it is. Anyway, when we added a cage to my black car years ago, and we added better subframes, and we put an anti-roll bar on it, the car just stopped being shitty when it left the line. And, we ended up, I never thought adding 250, 300 pounds to a car would make it faster, but in explanation, physics, whatever you want to call it, the rollout got better. That my ET got better, my 60-foot got better because the car could react. So you put a 427, 750 horsepower 427 in a stock fox body, you're gonna twist that car up all over the place. It might be fun spinning the tires all over the damn place, but it's just kind of a waste. You gotta build around it. You know what I mean? So the racetrack in my area used to pack in 90s. Now not so much. I agree. That's like that everywhere, bro. I got my 65 Chevelle off the jack stand that's on wheel dollies so I can move it around the garage. Getting closer, though, right? We're getting closer. That's all that matters. So what's wrong with the 393? Okay. Well, first of all, did you get your shit figured out? Because I think you said you were on the dyno. Spinning ain't winning unless you're in a back half race. Yeah, basically back half races are a controlled spin. It's all how much weight and how much power I can put to the back of the car. I love it though. I mean, it's every bit as much as yeah, it's like street racing is. Started with connectors and cage before getting too deep into the engine. Just knew it was going to need to stay straight. That's right. That's a good idea, brother. So moving on to the we'll talk about Ford Takeover last. The 393 needs help. So we made a phone call to Donnie B. Now I don't know if you guys know this. Some of you do, some of you don't. We put a Terminator X in the in our white car, and the white car should be coil near plug, and it's not. Anyways, the Terminator X was modified by MF Customs as a Gen 2. There's actually a Gen 3 harness now. And basically it gives you the option at the IAC to run a GM or a Ford. And what I really liked about the Gen 2, Gen 3 stuff is you're able to use like the IAT, TPS, ECT. There's a lot of Ford connectors that are just really familiar that you can just plug and play and be done with it. I think that's where we need to go with the black car. This whole A9L, Moats quarter horse, and there's another side bet to this too, and I'm going to talk about with TrickFlow. Because TrickFlow sponsored the top half of the motor, and I was speaking with TrickFlow, and they told me, they were like, "Why don't we just go ahead and stick your box R back on, and we're gonna port match to the 227s we sponsored you." They seem to think that intake might do a little bit better for us in that motor's scenario. It's just unfortunate that the 351 Windsor lower, not the upper, but the lower is kind of difficult to get right now in the box R in general. And it's I think we're going to about a week. It take about a week to get it ported. I think we're going to do some footage on changing to the box R port matched, and then take it back to the dyno and see what wheel it makes then versus what it did make. And then I think it's time for a Holley Terminator X, like a Gen 3 harness. Now they're pretty expensive, about $1,900, but that's kind of where we're at with the black car. The 393s got this dead spot between like 2,500 and like 3,400, 3,600, and it's just killing me. And until the car actually gets warmed up, like when it gets warmed up, it's not so bad, but it just feels like there's like an ignition problem there, and it's not. It's just the fact that we're done with the moats for the most part. We gotta, we enjoy the black car now. We have all kind of fun with it. It pulled like a sumbitch today. Not even gonna lie to you. Had a lot of fun with it, but it is what it is. We got to do something different. You know what I mean? So I'll show you right now. I got a roll cage in mind. You got to have a roll cage. Can I run Ford Focus IAC with Mega Squirt? I'm not real sure. Maybe MF Customs can answer that. I don't know if he's still here in chat or whatever, but let's see if I can bring that up. Hang on. But there's a couple things we need to do with the 393, and to maximize it, to optimize it. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to be really important, if you ask me. I mean, I think it's going to, it's a 500 wheel, motor, and I look forward to getting a little bit more out of it. Sorry, I'm trying to get you this shit that I was just talking about. Anyway, you have a run new heads right off the have you have a run new heads? What do you mean? What up, Jimmy? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you guys. Okay, there we go. So we made a poll. Hey, smiles per gallon, baby. Let's see if I can bring this up. Made a little poll. I don't know if you guys can hear the car. It drove pretty good. I mean, it definitely was. You can see it was right there. The car, I mean, it just came straight up like it was up. TKX, I love that TKX. That thing ships like a dream. But yeah, it ran pretty good. But again, I think the Terminator X is going to give us a little more power, and there's some other things we need to do. Yeah, it loves RPM for sure. 7,000, 8,000. We don't take it that far. We take it like 7,200. That damn motor, I'm telling you, man, that motor made power to I mean, he was in the mid 6s and still kind of leveling out. So being 3-inch mains and 351. I don't know if you guys, can you guys actually hear it? It sounds like shitty on my end. I mean, the car's like sitting up. He's getting those over. It might be time for a new set of struts. I have a lot of fun. Smiles per gallon, man. It's like I'm smiling right now. This is the type of shit that I talk about on the channel all the time, man. Smiles per gallon. It's that feeling you get, man. Let me tell you what, we kept right on rolling down the highway after we got through the traffic, and it was just like I just wanted to drive like forever. I was like, man, this shit is badass. I love this. But again, we know it can be better, and that's like the facade. I keep talking about facade, but that's there's always something that you can do to make it better or optimize it. I think the problem with my new heads is the exhaust. What's wrong with the exhaust? Even Brutal is having great luck with the Terminator X on his cat setup. Holley's ECU Terminator Dominator, tough to beat. Yeah, and it's pretty user friendly for the most part. A lot of good people out there that'll help with making shit right. But that's what the 393 needs. I mean, it still runs. I mean, it's like 65 cold oil pressure. It drops to 30 when it's warm. I think we did set it up about a half a thou loose. Motor runs good. I think the injectors need to be cleaned. So we're going to bring that to the channel. When we switch the intakes, we're going to take the 80s that we have in it, and we're going to take them over to Tom at fuel injection development FID over in Canton. And he's the guy who cleans our shit. He cleans a lot of people's injectors. We're going to see how bad they are, because you'd be surprised at how much misfire comes from a shitty injector. And I did a little bit on, if you guys got the 19s, the 24s, 30s, even the 42s, got a little budget $10 video, man. I'm telling you, those videos are going to be worth their weight in gold in 10 years. A little hack where you can take some carb cleaner and clean your own injectors. I mean, you can get the injector cleaner kit. You'd be surprised on how much injectors are not firing correctly, and could lead to misfires, could lead to just poor fuel mileage, poor performance. So, we really should invest in a little injector machine. But we run a top end lube and all. We run Pump E85, which is like E92 right now, and it's a really good E on the pump right now. But we run like a little top end lube. We put a little oil in it, little clots, and then we put the water stuff to keep it from getting water getting into it. What's up, Handle Motorsports? Good to see you, bro. I didn't see you come on in. Make its own harness or tap the stock IAC. How do you make it work? Never run new heads out of the box. At least have them checked. I'm about yodied out. All I heard all week long at Mustang week. Oh, speaking of yodis, I got a hold of Corsa, and I didn't know what muffler to order, and I told them what we were doing here on the channel, and they're kind of interested in sending us a set of mufflers. I didn't even know Corsa had a foxbody muffler. Like I told them, it's like, if it isn't an offset 3-inch, like kind of like a Flowmaster-ish, I don't really want it, because I got to make the vibrant attachments still, which we were monkeying with that the last couple of days. But I got to make the vibrant attachments because they're like a different type of muffler. So I'm going to have to make specific attachments for that. It gives me a chance to weld up a couple of the tailpipe things too. So regardless, it's worth doing. But Corsa is interested. I didn't know that they had a foxbody muffler. I wonder what. Now let me tell you what. A Corsa on a Yodi on these new Mustangs. Hanlon was just talking about it in chat. Like it's all you heard down at Mustang Week, and that's great. Yodi's the next best muffler, or is the best or one of the best. But 351, I'm always going to be the Windsor guy. Always. But what do you guys think about doing some Corsas on the channel after we do the vibrance and the Well, I don't remember I don't remember who we're doing after Vibrant, but I think they sound pretty good. I don't know. I've never heard them on a foxbody. It's worth looking at. I'm going to be honest with you. We don't like them. We don't like them. It is what it is. Somebody gets some free mufflers, and we're done with it. Speaking of which, I think Chris won the mufflers, and I wanted to update you in email, and I didn't get a chance to. FP is going to send you 2.5. They're currently getting that set up. They were on back order forever. I wonder why. They were on back order forever. So, well, not forever, but for a short period of time. Anyways, they're going to take care of us. So I told them that as soon as the 2.5s come in, I need the first set off the shelf to send to this guy. So just letting you know. Try some Corsa Extremes; they'll be interesting. I mean, because you hear this shit on like the Yodis, right? But like, wonder if we put a little chop in it and put a little, put a little push rod in it, right? Little push rod, and then see what they sound like. It probably, I don't know. Corso worth a shot. I mean, if we get him free and shit, I mean, they're definitely worth a shot. But I mean, I'll buy them anyways. I don't give a damn. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get them to you, but I'm just giving you an update. So the FP 3 inches we're going to keep here, and we're going to actually put them back on the black car in between muffler videos. But he wanted the 2.5. So remember, I told you guys, whoever wins them, if they want the 2.5, they can get that instead. That'll sound sick with the black car. That black car makes everything. I'm telling you, man. We're going to do some cheap ones too. The Jones is the one I want to do. I wanted to do a video of buying like the cheapest muffler, like foxbody offset style, like kind of aggressive race-ish. Thrush came up as one of the top 3. There was this no-name shit from Amazon that came up, and what was the other one? Jones, of course. But I think we're going to try the Jones mufflers. I think they're like $38.99 on sale right now each. I think that would be cool. I don't know. I might have to actually convert a set of Jones 2.5s to 3-inch because I don't think they make them in an offset 3-inch. So let's just focus on, listen, Vibrant's next. Let's just, don't worry about that. Cherry Bomb. Now listen, I ain't hating on Cherry Bomb, Rich. Cherry Bomb has a muffler, and it's called an Extreme something that has an offset that looks like a Flowmaster. So Cherry Bombs are definitely one of the ones. I got a little list over on my shelf over there. Cherry Bomb's on there. Jones on there as one of the cheaper ones, like Walker and a couple other brands. Of course, we're going to see the neighbor haters. But I think, like I said, like the neighbor haters are going to require hopefully the same Vibrant attachments we make work on those too. I'm really hoping that would be kind of neat. So I think a pair of thrust mufflers on a small block Chevy 400, they sounded really freaking good. Spintech. That's the other one I had wrote down. Spintech, was it 9,000s? Because I think 6,000s is the street. Trust me, I was doing the homework, man. How do I even know that? I don't know anything about Spintech. So I guess 6,000s are like the street one, and like 9,000s are like the race one. I don't know. I was just taking a guess. That's what I got from that. Ever mess with aluminum exhaust? Yeah, we had a 4-inch. I mean, it wasn't an aluminum exhaust, but we had a 4-inch aluminum single pipe, but it had no muffler on it that we used to run on a white car. Jones full bore. That's the one we were looking at. They don't sound bad. You thought they kind of like Mac muffler. I'm gonna tell you what, these FPs hit like hammers. They just literally hit like hammers. I'll give you guys some of you guys that haven't watched the video. Where's this at? Let me bring this up. So right now we currently still have the Flowmasters on there right now. I think this is it. Nope, that's not it. I'll give you guys a little sound clip, baby. There's just something about that we. All right, here you go. 40 series. On it, but let me tell you, it goes back up, man. Straight through muffler, turbo exhaust, through and interesting. So watching, consider support us every month. Here we go. But outside of that, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Check out that join button, become a member of the channel. Appreciate all my members who support us every month. Give me a thumbs up on the way out. We'll see you soon in the next one. See you soon in the next one. FP, man, like a hammer, dude. Mac has a little more drone. Delta's like an old, like a Terminator. Here's your flow map. I'm not gonna tell you, man. The more I listen to that FP shit, damn, son. They sound just like the Max, but the Max have a little bit of drone to them. They both rap out really good. Like I said, the Delta's like, of course, the Flow Masters you can't beat. But you know, the one thing that's wonderful though, sounds better than that damn Yodi. I just kidding. You got to put your ghost. Hey, Andrew, you got to put your ghost tune in to do that shit. Man, you know I'm playing with you, man. You know I love you, bro. We good. Let's listen to that shit one more time. That piece sound good, bro. I like that. So we talked about it last week. Now that I got this up on the screen real quick, would you sacrifice? I want to ask this question again. Would you sacrifice 15-ish horsepower, plus or minus 5, for a chambered muffler and sound versus horsepower on the street? Like, I want you guys to chat that up. I asked that question last week. Now that I brought this back up, because we're going to add vibrance to this, and this is going to be like 5 mufflers, and we add another muffler, it'll be 6 mufflers, and you're going to start getting. I like to do shit like that because we're using the same platform to do it all the way through. But would you sacrifice 50? Let's call it 15. It's a good medium because that's about right. Chambered mufflers do have a. They say they do have a. Until it's myth busted, I'm pretty sure it's. I think it's anywhere between 10 and 20, depending on what type of exhaust you have. But straight throughs are obviously like Borlas. We got a set of Borlas. That's why we put them on our turbo exhaust system, because they were straight through. Vibrance that we have over here, straight through. SLP loudmouths over here are straight through. So there's a, I think Harm has a straight through muffler. There's a lot of mufflers that are straight through, and that'll help with, you know what I mean? They won't back pressure, pulse, whatever you want to call it. So would you sacrifice? Push rod, they all sound good. On the street, no. Pick your favorite. Yes, the sound is worth it. If I'm running 500 horsepower, I would easily give up 1,500 horsepower for sound. Okay. I wouldn't. I'm going straight through for my 408 Cleveland build. Oof. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. Time for some Z's. Hey, man, you made it home safe. That's all that matters, bro. Holler at me tomorrow. Appreciate Handling Motorsports for what they do here on the channel, bro. I currently have Flowmaster 3-inch on my project. Let's go. Sorry I'm late. What's up, James? Good to see you. So, yeah, that was a question that I asked last week. I mean, it's kind of interesting to see some of the responses. I mean, you can lose 15 horsepower just spinning a little tire in second gear, as far as ET is concerned. But I don't know, man. That's a tough question. Do you give up 15 horsepower for chambered sound on a push rod. I heard Brutal Spintech 9000s in town at gas station at Idle. Sounds awesome. But when he left and it got on, it sounded like a 302 Boston high school cherry bomb. Be interesting to hear. I don't know what car he's bringing. I talked to Brutal yesterday, 2 days ago. So we are going to be collaborating with Brutal at some point before Ford Takeover. So have a good night, brother. I'll catch you tomorrow. I don't know if 525 wheel sounds better than 510. You ain't wrong. That's right. Anyways, stick shift taming. Oh, yes. So I want to talk about the 5 hazards. We've been talking kind of randomly. So 5 hazards. I want to show you guys this video, and I want to pay attention real quick. We're gonna shift gears here. Where the hell did I put it? I was getting ready for a race at Magnolia, and one of the issues that I have, one of the problems that we have with this car, and you know, I hate going from, you know, we were talking about mufflers and sound and really cool shit to being like techie and learning shit, but I mean, it's what we do. You know, I like to bring as much as I can to the channel. These cars are getting old, clearly. You know, they're 40 years old on the build. Some of them are even older than that. You know, we exclusively talk about 87, 93 Mustangs. You know, these things were obviously built 8 years prior to that. The point I'm trying to make is the wiring's getting old, and shit happens. So on my 87 Mustang, for whatever reason, we lost our headlights. So you think it's a bulb. Wasn't a bulb. So you think maybe it's the headlight harness, maybe one of the connectors, whatever. Not one of the connectors. Didn't understand what the hell it could be. What I noticed when I was messing around with the multifunction switch and when I was trying to do, you know, get the, you know, the lights to work, high beams or whatever, to maybe it was just a low beam, high beam thing. I was trying to diagnose the problem. And I wasn't paying attention to it much because we don't do a lot of night driving with it. But, you know, when we do go to racetracks and we do test and tune and we do race no prep and street race, it's at night. So like, I got to get this fixed. So what we found and what I wanted to bring to the channel, I made a little video on about 1.5 minutes long. And some of the, like, it's not like really a hack, but it's the kind of a fix. The best way to fix your harness is if you got a problem with one of your plugs, you change the plugs. One of the biggest fire hazard issues in a foxbody Mustang, without a doubt, is your headlight switch. There's so much amps and so much power coming through that stupid little switch that in the 40 years, it's tired, bro. So we talked about this a number of times down in the, you know, on the channel, you know, hazards, fire hazards, whatever. I wanted to show you this clip and kind of one of the things that I do with my harness. To get ready to go racing tonight. And I want to show you what I did to fix it. Now, these cars are old enough. Now, there are companies that remake some of these connectors. You can get them out there. Various companies out there that make these connectors. But what happens is if you look at any of your harnesses, there's little locks in these plastic connectors. You can actually rewire your foxbody. You can pop most of your wires loose out of these cannon plugs. What also happens is that's a double-edged sword because over the years, these little clippies and these little locks that hold the damn wires in, well, they fall out and break, you know, from the vibration of the car, from age, whatever. So this is how I prep. But I wanted to show you guys something. I haven't had headlights and my turning signal's been slow and off and on and whatever. It's not all the time. It's not about your switch or the harness or whatever. So what I'm telling you there is it's not all the time. It's about your bulbs or your switches or your headlight harness. You know, sometimes it's hiding underneath the actual. And this goes with a lot of things. Let me show you what I did to fix it. So this is my 87 GT Foxbody, and this wiring harness is just getting old. What happens is these wires start to pull out, and what you can see. So these little, I mean, all these wires through all the harnesses in Foxbodies. Now we're getting straight tech with you right now. You know what I mean? I love to shoot the shit on a Sunday, but I also like to show you some of the stuff that I experience with these Foxbodies and some of the ways that I do to fix them. And, you know, it might not be the best way because the best way is to take all them wiring harnesses out and replug them into a new cannon plug, which we have laying here. But this is what I did to secure them in. Here's, I took some right stuff,
like some.
Now the right stuff is gasket sealer. Now, if you know anything about gasket sealer, this shit is the absolute cat's ass. The right stuff right here. It's like 1 minute gasket sealer. There's so much shit that this thing can fix because it's gasket. It's just liquid gasket. And once it gets out into the air, it hardens like rubber. I mean, it's really good in fixing, especially with doing dumb shit like this.
Rubberized gasket sealer. And there was like 4 of these.
The reason why we're putting gasket sealer on those wires, I'm sorry, I keep stopping it. We'll start. I'll go back to the beginning. Is that's just rubber. So it'll harden like regular gasket sealer does, you know, and it'll keep the wires from popping out because I identified which ones that were missing their little locks inside. And I mean, this is some dumb, hateful shit that it's hard to find. You know, you never know what your problem could be. It could be your harness and hidden. So
tell you what I did to fix it.
I'll
So
stop.
this is my 87 GT foxbody, and this wiring harness is just getting old. What happens is these wires start to pull out, and what you can see here is I took some right stuff, like some rubberized gasket sealer, and there was like 4 of these were starting to unpin themselves, and I wasn't getting any headlights. So what I do is I take a zip tie, and it's actually on most of
the zip tie makes them accountable.
And I'll secure a zip tie on all these wires to keep them together so they don't move, and then I'll just kind of not really glue them in, but just gasket seal.
A little gasket sealer in the
area. It makes a little bit of a mess, but
vibrating.
And it'll keep them secure now, and I actually have headlights that actually function. So not all your fixes are going to be a harness and or a switch. Sometimes it's going to be wiring. I mean, these things are 40 years old at this point, and I just wanted to throw that little tech tip out to you. Best thing you could do is probably replace that connector, but those connectors aren't easy to get. A couple other places might actually carry those, but what happens is those little locks inside of them, they just vibrate loose. They're getting old, man. 40-year-old car. Love y'all. See you soon.
So, you know, I always try to, you know, share my experiences here on the channel, and that could go for any car. It's not just fox bodies, but, you know, being that this is the car that I've chosen to know whatever about, you know, it's an easy fix. Like, if you go into your dash harness, if you got your harnesses out, you know, just take a little tug on some of those plugs. You'll be surprised on how many of them are missing locks, especially the ones that go to your switches. And this is why I'm talking about hazard shit, because some of those wires are hot all the time. And that's the one biggest issue on your GT and your LX headlight switch. And what I want you guys to be, you know, do me a favor. If you're listening to me right now, if you're listening to me on the podcast after or whatever, it literally takes a screwdriver. You're not going to mess your car up. You're not going to mess your switch up. There's 2 little tabs on your little switch and they pop out. Let me see if I got my switch sitting right here. I'll grab it. I'll show you. So there's literally 2 little tabs right here. And this, I'm sorry, in here. And you just take a screwdriver and you pop these down and this whole switch will just pop out. It's pretty easy. And the biggest issue that we're having that we're talking about, and here's another thing I want to show you too about these. You don't pull up on these. You pull down. It pops out. You pull up on them, you break the prongs, and then they suck. But this switch right here has so much power, and I think it's the red and yellow is power all the time. And you can see it's pretty heavy duty, but this shit gets old over time. And I don't know how many of these I've replaced. They're literally melted. If you do yourself a favor, it takes 2 minutes. It takes a screwdriver. You're not going to mess anything up. Pop your headlight switch out. These 2 things here. Pop your headlight switch out. Take a look at this plug. Make sure it's not pulling out. Make sure it's not. You'll see it warping. It'll turn brown. It'll look like shit. And you can tell that you're starting to fail there. You can replace this pretty easy, but this is one of the #1 hazards for fires in your fox bodies. And so isn't the one that I just showed you, because those wires are hot too. One of those are hot too all the time. And you just, you know, it can cause all kind of shit. I like to take, like I said, I like to take little zip ties and kind of like, you don't have to zip tie them hard, like together ish. I mean, you're not trying to choke the harness up, but you know, you put the wires as far in as you can, kind of tighten them up, snip the zip tie, and then you just identify which ones are the ones that are missing locks. Put a little gasket sealer in there, a little rubberized gasket sealer in the hole. It'll never come loose again, and you don't have to worry about it. Dumb question: does the full headlight harness current go through the switch? Surely there's a relay. I mean, there's relays, and you know it goes off. Listen, foxbody harnesses are a hot mess. And be honest with you, and it's, you know, there's too many wires that are running power that shouldn't be running power, and it's something to keep an eye on. You know, when you're taking your car apart or doing some maintenance to the car. Headlight switch is the big one. Your console light and or your cigarette, whatever, underneath your console, that's a big one. Seen a lot of burns there. You know, at the multifunction switch, like the ignition switch, which is the big yellow wires underneath, that thing coming apart. There's all kind of, man, I'm telling you. I tell you guys this shit because somebody somewhere is going to look at that stuff and they're going to identify a problem, and I'm going to save their car from burning down possibly. And if that's the case, I'll mention it every damn time I'm on live. You know what I mean? I mean, we talked about this stuff before in the past. This isn't something new, but it's something I wanted to bring up because we did have a headlight issue and we identified our headlight issue. Sometimes the fix is just a fix. It's not something you have to go spend a bunch of money on or spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars to a tech who's going to do the same thing I just did. So anyway, I wish the company would make a new body harness there. I wish the company would do that too. Also, and it's not just for fox bodies. Like these you'd be surprised at how much of these harnesses are shared between Camaros and Firebirds and G bodies and trucks and shit. I mean, there's everything old's got harnesses that are pretty much the same company made all the damn plugs. So if you got something out there, you know, you might have the same problem. Don't the 4i cars have a weird fog light? Yes. You have to rewire that. Anyway, also the ignition. Yeah, I was just talking about that, James. The ignition switch, big old yellow switch. It's so bad. It should get started. It'll burn your battery up, and it'll just cause all kind of. Yeah. Try to find it. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, these ignition switch. So we have a company we buy from when I'm rebuilding harnesses. You can see this ignition switch. Usually these prongs will break off right here. One or two of them. Sometimes, you know, there's little locks inside here, and these yellow wires will pop out. These are power, man. There's power on that shit. So they start touching and shit, melting down. Fire inside of a race car is scary. Fire inside of a full interior car, even more. Yeah, shit goes up like a bale of hay. After tornado, car got damaged. It ran with but the negative wire on the battery was getting hot. Lucky as hell I found it. Hell yeah, man. We do have a banner to give away. Got a couple of them left. So we are going to do that. I think this week we're going to give away a Hanlon banner because Hanlon actually hooked us up with a couple banners this past couple of weeks. So you guys know we're stick shift here. I mean, we do a lot of stick shift stuff with Hanlon. They do a lot for the community. So big thanks to Andrew, Bob, Linda, Zach, what you guys do. I'll sign it real quick. But we'll go ahead and give this away. You guys know the routine. Make sure you guys hit that like if you're in on this stuff. You guys enjoy the live and shit. It helps for our audience to grow, bro. So go ahead and hashtag Hamlin. And yeah, I'll get this thing shipped out tomorrow. And Gunner did get his camshaft. It is on the way. I mean, he didn't get it yet, but it is on the way. I sent him a tracking. So, you know, I want to apologize to Donnie B. I didn't end up making a second plug for his for Anderson on that. I really did want to, but I had Gunner's camshaft for like 2 months. And, you know, also want to thank Dan Watts again, too, for, you know, he actually won that camshaft and he gave it to, I don't know, the second loser or something. Not loser, but the second guest or this. I don't remember what it was, but it was pretty cool. It was really good of him to pass that on to us. So, yes. But we also are going to be at Ford Takeover. We're going to talk about Ford Takeover and we're going to talk about the stick shift struggle real quick. And what we're going to do to tame it down. So the 393 we talked about some fire. We identified probably 3 or 4 or 5 different fire ones. I'm telling you, light switch, ignition switch, underneath of your console, the cigarette lighter, the light under your console can get stuck. And last but not least, your AC wide open throttle switch. You guys probably don't know what that is, but that's out by your mass air. And that wire is always burned. So I did identify that in the channel 3 or 4 or 5 times now. I don't have my little thing with me. I think it might be sitting here. We'll look. I usually have like an example, but I don't see it. I'll bring it back out when I find it. I'll be looking through that table this week anyway. So, yup. Anyways, if you win, have a fire suppression on my car. If you win, send me an email to neomustangs@hotmail.com. I think I got that right. Okay. What else do we have to do? The banner. We're going to talk about Ford Takeover and stick shift. Shit. So I wore this hat tonight because what I'm about to show you is made by Second Shift Racing. Our buddy Garrett Leach and Keith Maxwell down there in Bama. So pretty badass. I think this is the direction we need to go. So for you stick shift guys, you're going to want to stick around and listen to this shit. All right. Here we go. What's up, Gabe Large? I see you in there in chat. Who's in here? Nia, do you ready for Berger's car in the 6 stick shift? Am I ready for who? Just because he built the car doesn't mean he can drive it. I'm just kidding, brother. I'm just kidding. I'm very proud of him and what he did. And we were just talking about, you know, and that was a perfect title that Brutal put on that video too. You know, when his friends were out playing Fortnite, you know, he's over here building a badass car. That was really good. That was a really good title because that's 100% the truth. And we were just talking about that earlier in the channel, man. You know, these kids it's almost like a loss. You know, they're not lost. It's just they didn't grow up, man. They didn't grow up like us. So here we go. I'm gonna spin this destiny wheel here, all the way down, all the way up. Pete Armigio. Can I say that right? I say that right? Congratulations, bro. Congratulations. So get a hold of me on email and let me know. I think Caleb, Did you get taken care of with Hanlon as well? I got your email pinned here as well. For whatever reason, did you get taken care of with him? Because I think you won one of the gift cards that he had. So I always try to make sure that I follow up to make sure you guys are getting your shit. I know Mike takes really good care of us when we do the hats and the t-shirts. So I think you did, right? So congratulations to Pete. Jesse Workman, I sent you a video of what my car sounds like on Jones full bore, pretty much stock. Okay, I'm going to show that next week if you don't mind. I'm going to look at it, Jesse. It's kind of hard to get that transitioned over from Facebook. What's up, Neo? I'm late to the party. Hit stupid deer on the way to work. Man, you okay? I hope it was it in your foxbody? That's unfortunate, man. I'm sorry. Haven't heard from Hanlon just yet. Okay. I remember you sent me an email about the gift card. So we'll try to take care of you. We ain't gonna we leave nobody behind when it comes to that stuff. I did get the cam yesterday. Never got a chance to send an email yet. Okay, good. I'm glad. If there's any issues with it, let me know. I doubt there is, but I think I wrapped it in some foam padding on top of it. So, all right. Let's talk about what I got in this box real quick, and then we'll talk about Ford Takeover. So, like I had talked about earlier in the stream, we've been struggling with stick shift a little bit, trying to get momentum. You know, we test. Car's running really, really good. I mean, we're going fast. I didn't even run. I didn't even run this one out. You know, we lifted. This was, we've been testing and it's been really good with the two-step. We've been dialing a two-step in, getting the car right. We got some bouncing going on still, so we're still kind of messing with the suspension. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the extension out of the back because the car just squats too much. But, this is the white car. A week and a half ago. You see, I had to lift right there at the end. That would have probably, on the ticket, it was 570 at 116. I think that's, let me see if I can bring it up. Yeah. We went 570 at 116. We were missing about 9 mile an hour there or so, maybe even almost 10. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it was a faster run or would have been, but I think it would have been like a 60 pass or a 59, 62 at 126. So it was definitely moving pretty good. One of my biggest issues I'm having, and I'll show you right now. When I get it staged, right here, when I'm about to launch, my clutch switch is about halfway out. You hear the flare? Okay. So the biggest problem that I'm having that happens once in a while, it should go from 4 to 6, 6,500 back to 5,000 and catch for first gear. So it'll flare, come down, right? That's what you want. So this is a really good 60-foot, really good launch with my two-step and because I can launch the car with my left foot pretty consistently in the 29.30 range when it comes to 60 foot. But I'm trying to teach you guys with this two-step is you have to dial this thing in. So right there, I'm going to add a tamer to it. And this is why I bring this thing up. So our buddy at Second Shift Racing, we're going to be adding I don't know if you've ever heard of a clutch tamer, but this is undoubtedly the best one on the market. 100%. And this was made by Garrett Leach at Second Shift Racing. Here's our buddy down there in Dothan, Alabama. And this thing goes underneath your dash. Now, if you're going to stick shift race and you want to be consistent, when you dial your two-step in, like I just showed you right there, like when you get this thing going. So what's going to happen is I'm controlling my flare. I'm controlling it with my left foot. Okay. And this is something that I've done for years. Now I'm really good at it, but being really good at it and being really consistent at it is two different animals. And one of the problems that I've been having lately is I'm going to add a little RPM to my tune a little bit. I think it needs 4,600, not 43 or 4,400. I think a little bit of RPM will help with the flare and help wherever my clutch switch is at. But this tamer is what Garrett Leach at Second Shift Racing actually made us. And it's got a little solenoid on it. And now this solenoid will wire right into my two-step. So they'll be both on the same button and the same frequency as far as like powering. So what happens is when I hold the button for two-step rev limiter, it's the same thing. I can take timing out of my advanced table if I wanted to turn it on, and it'll go poppy, poppy, bang, bang, and all that other bullshit. But we leave on 6 pounds of boost anyways, and we're happy with it. The point I'm trying to make is I can put this tamer that is fully adjustable, and what it does is it's like a little shock rod, okay? There's a little bracket that goes on my pedal. So there's a little bracket that goes on the pedal, right? And this, that goes on the pedal here. Okay. And then it attaches to the end of the rod here. Okay. And this attaches to your dash frame where your, where that bracket comes down, like the U shape or the H bracket or whatever you want to call it. And you can fully adjustable on how far the rod pulls out or whatever. I haven't really gotten too like crazy with it yet, but when you add this tamer when I'm gonna add this tamer to my two-step and my rev limiter, which is on the same button, and put this on the same button, this is going to slow my pedal down just for first gear. And that's one of the hardest things in a stick shift car is making it consistently leave in first gear. Now, when you start talking about radials and you start talking about, when you start talking about radials, you start, changing your suspension for separation, that's stuff that we're going to mess with the coupe next year. We're going to talk about bar angle. This thing is a game changer. This is made by one dude, patented in the USA. And I can tell you he's on back order till 2029. But he's a good dude. Be patient with him. His name's Garrett Leach. It's Second Shift Racing here. He's actually in chat right now. He's a good friend of ours. This shit's a game changer. This is the same tamer that a lot of people that is being very successful in stick shift right now is running this tamer. And I think we put this on the white car and we get it dialed in with the two-step. I think it's going to change. I think we got to I think our car can go teens, one teens in the 60 foot with this piece. We've been 22 with our foot a couple times, been 25s a dozen times, lots of 27s, 28, 29, 60 foots. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, 1.29, 1.28. We talk about 60 foot. It's your car getting out of the hole. I think this can get us into the teens. I think we can tickle 19 2.0s with this, and that would be huge because you get a good light and you put a good 60 foot down, you win most of your races. So anyways, I wanted to show you that we're going to be putting that on here in the next week or two. I'm going to be doing a little bit of video on it. I'm actually going to introduce it in my next video. You've seen some footage from it. That's where we're headed. It's a game changer. And I wanted to kind of save that. Second Shift Racing is also on YouTube. Garrett Leach has, I think, Second Shift Racing on Facebook, but his name's Garrett Leach. And like I said, he's here in chat. He's pretty easy to spot. He's got the Poverty Cobra, just so you could look up the Poverty Cobra. He has I think it was a 99 or 03. I don't remember what it was. But he's right here. Yeah, Tony's been 119. I'm pretty sure we can get close to that. I think we can go 20, 21, 22s pretty consistently, which would make, if we go mid 20s all the time, I'd be happy. Because then I can start dialing that shit in. So has he started making the what? I believe Miss Midnight runs one in there. Yep, they do. It's a great tamer. But like I said, it's made by one person. It's a bad bitch. The dude is really good at what he does, and it's expensive. Like it's not expensive, but it's worth the money. Like I don't know how much tamers are normally or whatever, but you gotta pay to play. If it's good, spend the money. Yeah, Heath, he got Real Teal. Everybody know Real Teal? If you don't, let me let you know. He's the world's fastest nitrous small block stick shift car. He runs that same tamer. He helped. I don't know. I want to say he helped. I don't know the whole scenario, but I know him and Garrett are together. They race a lot together. And yeah, dude, I think Heath's been, what have you been 60 foot in that thing with that tamer? It's a game changer. It's something I've been meaning to put this tamer on my car for probably 2 years now. And Garrett's been in my ear for like 2 years. You need to put the tamer on. This is the newer version, but I never really realized it until it's like I never really realized it. What's going on in chat? Until this, this past year. I'm just like, we're not going into 26 without a tamer in a good two-step on our twin turbo coupe. And that's the reason why I got that twin turbo setup shit in my thumbnail, because we're not fucking around in 26, guys. I mean, I'm not trying to go sixes. Hell, I'm not trying to go sevens. I'm going to be honest with you. If we can go 530s and run a little gangster, that's where I want to be. 530s, there's like, I don't know, 820s. I don't know. Heath helped me out. 820s, 18s. We tickle 80s, we might be happy. But I'm not necessarily interested in going 180 out the back door or 175 out the back door. I mean, our buddy Danny Hart, he's like a mid 8 second. I think he's been faster than that. I don't know. He's fast as fuck. 427 twin turbo car. I think his car is going like 170s right now with a synchronized transmission. So he's doing really, really good. I really like that car. I really like that build that Dan's got going on in his shit. So anyways, yeah, I don't know how fast you been. I am running an adjustable clutch. Okay. So you've been like 110s or some shit, haven't you? 10s. Dan, didn't you say you might fly down to Ford Takeover? We're heading to Ford Takeover. Berger is safe if you don't have a car there. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Let me scroll up. What are you guys talking about? I heard there was some smack talking going on. I don't know what you're talking about. Smack talking on who? Amy's in it. How about Miss Brutal show up and talk shit about Brutal? I got the fastest blown 427 on jack stands. Let's go. And I think we're going to buy a 427 too, Mike. I think we got an opportunity to buy it, and I think we can get a pretty good price for it. Solid roller cam. It's got AFR 220s on it, so those will have to come off. Not that they're bad. Dan, didn't you say no? Burger's car be sounding good. I like it. My device works on both cable and hydraulic clutches. So Vance, did you see that shit? This for mechanical. I heard Bang Shift Billy works really well with hydraulic. Listen, this tamer, Vance, I put a call in yesterday for our buddy Kinter, because Kinter's been in the game. Gabe, you know Kinter. You've known Kinter for decades. You give Kinter this tamer, Jesus, it's gonna be hard to beat him, bro. No, you didn't, Jesse. Oh, so. Why my air fortress one got to come off? I'm not talking about yours. I'm talking about mine. You consider a stick shift class at War in the Woods with Tony? Me? No. We're going to probably head to, I think the War in the Woods is in a couple weeks. I think there's a Ford, I don't know. Is it Hollyfest? You said earlier, just because burger car me be fast doesn't mean he can drive it. Oh, we're just joking with you, brother. Can you drive it? I wasn't talking no shit, baby. I've been on an adjustable for years. It's awesome to see more products though. Have you been down the 8th mile yet? You get a cage put in that car? Trying to whip up some shit talking between you and Berger. I ain't worried about it. We're not worried about that stuff. Mike's a good kid, man. Really proud of him for what he's done. It ain't even been down the road yet. Yeah, you got to shake it down. Are you going to be able to make FTO? That'd be pretty cool. Is that what you're trying to head for? You going all no, that's blown, isn't it? Yeah. You're trying to run a radial on separation, or you're going to try to squat with a slick? It's going to be a bad bitch. Hope. I've known Johnny Kinter a long time. So I seen him last night at the Saturday at the race at Quaker, and he did. We were talking about getting the clutch tamer for him, so it's gonna be pretty fire. Yes, but it won't be fully potential on the blower or anything, but it'll be there. It'll be on a slick first. That's smart. Let me tell you what, the radio is a whole nother game, man. Berger fixing to have one of these units. He helped me R&D the Fox. There you go. He's going to throw the drop shaft out on the first trip on the road. Man, come on, man. Hey, you helped to put it together, so your name's on it too, Nakia, damn it. So, it's funny how the pot just tries to stir and shit. They was trying to say, oh, Neo's talking shit. We just having some fun, baby. We just having some fun. How you run separation with stock location uppers? You really don't. There is a Team Z bracket that you can buy that moves your upper differential ear up. So there is a way to kind of help the situation. If you don't have stock upper, or if you have stock uppers, you can still get a little bit of bar angle out of it or whatever. So I was over in Ohio last weekend, not far from you. Them kids over here trying to do Mexico runs is stupid. I know. I see it all the time, bro. This comment, I know, right? Team Z relocating. Yeah, it's a brace kit, so it'll move it up. So if you have stock uppers and you're trying to do radials, I don't know if you knew this, Berger. I don't know if anybody knows this. I didn't even realize it, and I'm sponsored by Team Z. But you can move your uppers, the rear uppers on the top of the 8.8 to get a little more bar angle out of them. So you run the relocation uppers on the axle. I didn't even know that the brace even existed. I'm going to be honest with you, like a dumbass. I'm sitting over here running the shit out of it, and I could have had a different bar angle in it. I have the brackets on the 8.8 that we had welded on that has the 4 different spots. So we want to come down a hole and go up in the rear on the white car. We could mess around with a little bit of radial, but my car squats too much. So what car are you bringing to Ford Takeover, Brutal? Are you bringing the Calypso? Or are you bringing the new car? You can lower the car too just to get more angle. I had a tubular upper brake torque. What do you say? Yes, I had a tubular upper torque box installed with different holes of adjustment. So that's like the Team Z one, right? That Calypso's a bad little bitch. Got a little 393. It's that solid roller. All motor. Unless you put some nitrous on it. That's pretty fire. My black 3,500 pound Fox bitch back here. That's it's gonna run a 750 or a 770. I don't know. I think it'll be faster than that. We're about to find out. I think. I don't know. We got time to get to the track. I'd like to take the black car to the track just to see what it'll do real quick. Last time we took it, we blew a damn motor up. You can lower the lowers in the rear and get a touch of an angle. That's what we're doing next with the white car, but we got to change the springs. What'd you say? It was a custom by a company called PCF here in Georgia. Baseline suspension has adjustable upper relocation. What up, OG? Good to see you, bro. Yes. Them south sides be ripping lower boxes out. That's funny. Hell yeah, man. I appreciate you, Jake. Anything I can do for you? Cash days. Anyways, so the last thing we're going to talk about is Sport Takeover, and we're kind of already talking about it. So there's a stick shift shootout and there's an all motor shootout on Saturday. There is a dyno event on Friday early afternoon. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people there, man. I think it's going to be a great venue. I think the weather's going to be good. There's going to be some good racing, some good people to hang out with. Be able to, catch up with my buddy Brutal here on the channel, catch up with Foxcast Media, who I know is off in the distance listening in the comments. Come on. I know you're there. But get a chance to hang out with some of my friends that I don't get to see very often. And, we get to see, other people on the channel like Mike and possibly even Heath and Garrett. I don't know if they're showing up or not. I think Heath's coming. Heath, are you going to are you part of the race? Did you pencil that one in, or are you going to a different one? I want the dyno shootout at least, since it probably won't go down the track. It'll be fine, man. Get out there in the streets, baby. Start pouring, put some stripper glitter down and send it. Send it till you bend it. Get that shit right, bro. You'll be all right. FTO coming down from Massachusetts. All right. Yeah. So Ford Takeover, like I said, the Ford Takeover, the dynos like half the day on Friday, and I think there's going to be some test and tune on Friday night, if I'm not mistaken, because I guess Jackson's track got redone too, so that's something to be kind of paying attention to. So it should be a little bit faster or a little bit safer than it was in the past years. My car goes down dirt, so it doesn't really matter. If we even bring the white car, because we're still in that Tremec race, so I don't really think I want to bring the white car at all. We got to race. We raced this past weekend. We got to go nut bolt check it. Let me show you some shit that I found real quick. We were nut bolt checking our car on Saturday, and for whatever reason, my lines, I don't know. My axle, we were going through our axle here, and we found wrong one. We found a pinched brake line. Craziest shit ever. It was hiding behind my shock. Like, it's hard to find this shit. This is why I always talk about nut bolt checking your car when you're out there beating the shit out of it. Yep. Ended up replacing both of them, but they both were leaking. They both got pinched for whatever reason. The shock must have, came over and pinched them both. But we replaced these little black line or brake lines. Pretty crazy what you find. How much power do you think you'd be putting down? Bring black car. That's what I want to bring. Why you want me to bring black car? We'll have we'll do some cruising with the 393 on 393, having some fun. Do a little cruising, brother. I always wanted to do some cruising. Just chilling. You know what I mean? How are you gonna buy some new tires and run my NVXs, the 18s on the car, because I don't mind these 10.5s. From what somebody told me is they don't even make the 10.5s anymore, Brutal. The offsets for the SVE wheels. I don't know if that's true or not, but because it's cool. But yes, same street shit. Yes, sir. I'll have to bring some stripper glitter with me too. See what we can do on Draggy. Let me look through this. Yeah, I think he should make what blowers on that on Berger's car on his 427. It should make around 800 or more, depending on the timing. Ooh. Check moats, bushings, and anti-roll bar, then rained out on. Yeah, man, always got to check. I need to seat to ride around Friday. I'm not street ready. That's because you're on kill, bro. Your car on kill with a button with like 600 horsepower. He got more money on shot of nitrous than I got on my whole motor, or more horsepower on a shot of nitrous I got on my whole 393. Yeah, my car, my black car getting old, man. I was looking at it today, and there's like just cracks and nicks in it, and man, I don't even give a damn. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like nice, I like nice shit, but I don't really give a damn. There's clear coat peeling. I don't care. I'm gonna bring it down and I'm gonna enjoy it anyways. Can you put a return line and drain plug in a carbureted car? Well, let's see, why not? On stick shift, what's the difference between running radials versus slicks? There's a huge difference. So stick shift, it's tough to get a, you gotta set your suspension up completely different, radial versus slick. Not completely different, but it's all about bar angle and separation. You could set, like, we're going to set the coupe up to where we can run a slick on it and keep the same bar angle to run a radial on it. We just have to change shock settings and probably the travel limiters in the front. You see what I mean? We're going to try to be good at both tires, but not a master at it. I don't think you can do that. I don't know. We're going to try. I'd love to see your black car and Calypso together. It'll be nice. I mean, his car is going to look way better than mine. My shit's faded and old. My paint is patina, baby. We patina. Old like this old man right now. So, yeah, radial is very prep dependent. 20. You're going to put 25 pounds through that 427 right now? Good night, Foxbody Parts. Good to see you, bro. We have not. I don't even Bill Mitchell products. You're going to try to put 25 pounds through a 427. So you got a cage. All right, let me ask you this. You have a cage. You got subframes. You got aftermarket boxes, or are they stock? Because putting 25 pounds through a 427s, it's like Hulk juice, bro. It's gonna be Hulk mad at the whole car. Like your doors are gonna just start rattling and shit. You might go back in time. I ain't talking no shit. That's just 25 pounds through a 427. It's like saying, hey, it's a good idea to go over there and light that whole pile of fireworks and see what happens. I love it, baby. Cage, subframes, welded boxes, tubular, baby. You better have like 8. You better, hey, make sure the dyno puts chains down. Do yourself a favor. He's giving it all the beans. He's giving it all the beans and some extra rice, bro. Gigawatts. That's exactly it. He's going back to 1988, man. You're going to have to put that up on a big tire, boy. I'll tell you. Mike, you might as well go ahead and tub the car. You might as well. I'm not talking no shit. I'm just saying you're going to be putting some power down. That's for sure. On a small tire, it's going to be rough. It'd be good. That'd be good. It'd be fun to watch. It'd be good. I'm proud of you, man. You're not playing Fortnite. You're over here building a 4-digit, muscle car. I love it, man. Love it, love it, love it. Street car. Yeah, they're gonna hear that coming from like 3 streets over. I'm like, man, I got my AC on. Nah, I don't know, man. 25 pounds is a lot. That's a lot, bro. I don't even want to know what number that'll make. I know what my buddies make with their F1s. Yeah, I know what they're. Yeah. It's a lot. You're gonna have to build that car. Get to weld that car up twice. It's gonna be nice, man. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be interesting to see. So you're gonna go to the dyno and get it tuned, and then you're gonna go to Ford Takeover, and you're in the dyno shootout. I without looking at the list and cheating, you're in the dyno shootout, and you're gonna put 25 pounds in a dyno shootout. 1.21 gigawatts. I don't even know what gigawatts even. That's crazy. That'd be pretty fire. Did you ever put the Calypso on the dyno? That'd be pretty nice. It probably makes a good 500 number somewhere. Plus, that's pretty stout for a 393, 408, 427. I think 427s could make upper almost 600 depending on the solid roller cam, like to the wheels, like a 700 crank, 750. I want to win the dyno shootout at least, since can't be track ready by then. We was just talking about that earlier in the chat too, how we put all this money and all this time and thought into how much horsepower. Like, you're gonna have to really make sure that car can handle it. It should be safe, if anything. Putting that shit on the street, Mike, is dangerous. 750 is dangerous, let alone anything in the 4-digit range. So you got to be careful. Make sure you know your boundaries on the street. I don't fuck around and find out in my white car. Like, it'll send me into the median in all 4 gears. So, and that's only like 1,000. Yeah, I figured it was around 500. My black car, when we get the Terminator X, it'll be around 500. Like, there's a dead spot in the tune. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. I had fun with it. It made 474 on long tubes. When we put the mufflers on, took the mufflers off. Teal and Poverty Cobra are fixing to hit the dyno here soon. Dude, are you going to put that on tube or Facebook? We're going to be doing that. We're going to bring Brutal and Mike in for we're going to bring in Brutal and the channel with we're going to be doing a live with them. He's got to work. I don't know I know his work schedule has a break in it somewhere. Okay. That's the best way to put it. And we had been talking about getting on the live together here very, very soon. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get with Brutal, and I think we're going to try to do a live with Caleb and possibly Brutal and Andrew Hanlon. So we're going to do a little push rod versus coyote bullshit, talk a little car shit, have a little fun. You know what I mean? So you guys got to be paying attention for that. And it'll be on his channel as well. So most likely when we go live, it'll most likely be with Brutal. It'll be with Brutal on his channel at some random day this week or next week sometime. I don't know what time he's got time for. So it'll be wonderful. It'll be a good time. I don't make any nitrous pass on the street. You would be surprised what it runs NA on the street, though. I would not be surprised at all if it's a 590 car on the street, all motor, Gabe. I don't put anything past you because you have decades of knowledge and experience, not only on the street, not only in no prep, but in hot street and all the NMRA shit that used to bust everyone's ass in. So you ain't hiding from nobody. Gabe is a legend, bro. A legend. So I love you, brother. Keep that stick shift shit alive, baby. Hopefully Wednesday. Yeah, it's going to be wild, man. Neo, you're asking a lot of questions. Drag racers don't answer them. What questions am I asking? Like about his safety equipment? I don't ask any questions. I don't ask any questions that I'm worried about. Did someone say Coyote you trying to call Andrew back up? My dyno tuning session got cut short today. You went 5, 10, and third. Yeah, third let go, but you already got it fixed, bro. Yeah, we're gonna have church with Brutal, and then we're gonna have church with possibly Caleb if he's got time, and Andrew with Brutal. So it's me and Brutal are gonna be representing Pushrod, and then Andrew and Caleb obviously are gonna be representing the Yodis. Not that anything's wrong with the Yodis. Got to be careful with big horsepower on the street. Get in trouble. You damn right. That's what I was kind of talking about. But yeah, it's a good time. Good time. I appreciate you guys, jumping in tonight because Ford Takeover is obviously going to be really good. There's going to be a lot of people with a lot of fast cars there, and that's pretty much, that's what I kind of wanted to do here with the live stream is bring up a little bit of buzz. And I'm really glad that Brutal got a chance to pop in for a second, and Mike Berger and those guys, Brutal's going to have a monster 393 Calypso car there. Berger's going to have a, freaking Hulk Juice 427 big horsepower setup that he's been building on Brutal's channel. I mean, we're going to be there with the black car, kind of chilling, watching the stick shift stuff, having a little bit of fun with some car guy shit. So I don't get a chance to see these guys but once a year, and we're going to have a good time, man. It'll be a good time. I love it. Andrew's slow. Oh boy. Anyways, I'm looking at slow Andrew. Were you looking at him? This is what I got. This is what I got for Andrew. Y'all hear that shit? I'm going to be giving away as well. Yeah, that's right. You can watch this shit later. Push rod, baby. That chop. Hell yes. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got for you guys tonight. I just want to say that, I appreciate it. I wouldn't be doing this shit if it wasn't for you. You guys motivate me to get on here on live and talk a little car guy shit with my car guy friends, have a little bit of fun. Again, we'll be heading to Ford Takeover in 2 weeks. That's our next gig that we're doing. You see, it's clearly there's going to be a lot of stuff to come watch, have a little bit of fun with, car guy shit with car guy friends, cruising, racing, having some fun. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Creating a little buzz, having good relationships with people that, you've been friends with for years. So yeah. You guys have a great week this week. Just hate it when it won't be running numbers by then, but it was what it is. Run out of time. Just hate I won't have it running numbers by then. It's all right. In due time, man. Don't get in a hurry, man. Don't get in a hurry and miss something, Mike, and then it end up costing you your build. It's going to be a lot of power. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you will soon. It's going to be a lot of power. It's going to be overwhelmingly, you're talking 3G, 1,000 horsepower is 3G when you're coming out of the hole, and you can literally not even think at that, that G force. It's a lot of power. So just be safe when you're driving it, when you're shaking it down, and hopefully the build comes together pretty well on the dyno and stuff with you. I don't know. You guys are doing it this week. We try to keep stick game running around here. It wasn't for Georgia dudes coming up from racing at Knoxville. Probably wouldn't be me and just a couple of the cars. It's kind of been that way with me right now. We got a handful of, 7 or 8, but there's 4 or 5 of them coming back out next year. So I wish Brutal would run Calypso on the track. Curious what it really runs. Looking forward to meeting you all at FTO. Hell yeah, brother. You got that nasty 3. You got a 408 too, though, that you just finished up. So it'll be nice. Be nice to have some fun. Looking forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks. Hell yeah. So, anyways, I'll be getting with Brutal. I think we'll be doing a live at some point this week with him, and it'll most likely be on his channel. And then hopefully we can catch him again on Sunday, if all else ends well. And then we'll do a little push rod coyote shit. So. Anyways, guys, that's what we do here on the channel. We keep you motivated, get your shit off the jack stands, have a little fun with it. It's not about, to me, it's balancing time, family, money, get your shit off the jack stands. It's exciting to be able to put a build together and be excited about what number it's going to run, what horsepower it's going to run. And then the fun is all in the journey. It's not the destination. Always remember that. You know, enjoy your car, enjoy the time building it, but don't spend forever on it, because I'm going to tell you, life's going to bite you in the ass. Something's going to come down the pipe. You're going to have to put a new roof on your house. You're going to have to do something that's expensive, and that's going to put your shit in a peril to where you have to do it on another time. So guess what I'm trying to tell you is, you know, I love y'all. I appreciate everybody who follows the channel. You guys motivate me to continue to motivate and stay tuned with what we got going on the channel. So, but got a couple videos that we're working on for this week. We got to get those vibrants on before we go to Fort Takeover. But I think we're going to bring the FPs with us to Fort Takeover. They sounded the best so far, I think. I don't know what you guys think, but we're gonna probably bring those as well. Yeah, I want to just let it make the power and then work my way up. That's right. That's a good idea, man. Neo, your beard is looking salt and pepper, bro. I tell you, I'll be wearing that shit good, don't I? Anyways, you guys have a safe week. I'm gonna go ahead and get off and head out. I love y'all. Check out Garrett Leach if you're into the stick shift game with his tamer. It's gonna change the game on our channel, and I'm bringing that shit right here to you. So appreciate you guys. Have a safe week. See you soon. I think it's going to end sometime.